Hey, today I'm going to show off my NES Complete in Box and Sealed games that I have in my collection. I've been collecting on and off for probably about 15 years or so. I started with Sealed when I was younger, and then I kind of got out of that because it got really expensive, and I started doing Complete in Box like 4 or 5 years ago. So let's jump right into my games, and I'll try to throw in some tidbits every once in a while about some of these games, and I'm going to try to do all this in one take, so it could get interesting. So I got Metroid here for NES, and this one is just Complete in Box. Awesome sci-fi game. Super Mario 2. Originally Doki Doki Panic in Japan for the Famicom Disk System. And you can see this one is sealed. It still has the Kmart sticker on it. Then I have the original Super Mario Brothers. And you could sometimes tell how old these games are based on the seal that they have on them. This one is just Complete in Box, but you can see that it has a circle seal, which means that it's probably one of the older versions of the game. Also, it has this, can you see that hang tab thing that's like, that you can poke out for when you wanted to hang them up on the store shelves back in the day? That's an earlier version as well. That shows you that's an earlier version as well. Adventure Island. Here's a game where I love the game, but I also love the artwork that's on the cover. It's just beautiful. Look at that. I'd love to have that as a poster and hang it up on my wall. Really fun game, similar to Super Mario Brothers. Excite Bike. I used to have this game sealed, and then I sold it, and then I rebought it just Complete in Box because I really enjoy this game. Castlevania 3. This is a game that really pushed the NES to the limits back in the day. It's just a really fun game, one of my favorite on the system. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I prefer this version over the later release that was just called Punch-Out! I believe that Nintendo lost the licensing issues with Mike Tyson, so they had to just release it as Punch-Out because it was a really popular game. But this is the original one, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I like the artwork better because it has Mike Tyson. Who doesn't love Mike Tyson? This one also had, this is just Complete in Box, but it does have the letter from the champ in it. The Legend of Zelda. I mean, what can you say about this game? It's an awesome game, and the thing that's special about this cartridge for the NES is that it's like gold, which not a lot of games had special colors like that. And this one has this is Complete in Box, and it has the map and the strategy guide. I believe one of them is still sealed, like it hasn't even been opened. Ninja Gaiden from Tecmo. Fun side-scrolling ninja game. Turtles 2, the arcade game. You see how it says Ultra down here? There's an issue where you can only, on the NES, you can only release, publishers can only release a certain amount of games every year. And then I believe it was Konami who made the other games, but Konami is really Ultra. I think they're the same. They were the same company. They just came out with another publisher's name just to put out more NES games because they were really kicking butt with those NES games. So many hits. So this is just based off the arcade game Turtles, the Turtles arcade game, and it's the second one in the series. There's 3 for the NES. This is the first one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultra. And this one is still sealed. It's a really fun game, but it gets kind of difficult in the later levels. Contra. It looks like it's sealed, but it's really not. It's just the shrink wrap is still on it, and there's like part of the price tag that's on there, but it was opened. And here's the original Castlevania. I love that artwork too. Next up is Ghosts and Goblins. This is a game that I really do like, but it's so difficult. It's a really difficult game. Like, I never made it past the second level. But the reason I still bought the complete in box version of it is because the artwork again. I mean, look at that. That is just awesome. Another one I wouldn't mind a poster of. Super Mario Bros. 3, still sealed. I believe this is probably my favorite game. It's really hard for me to choose, but this is probably my favorite game on the NES. Baseball, which I bought because I saw it at a store and I thought it was really cool. I don't really like this game that much, but I love black box games for the NES, so I picked it up. There's a lot better baseball games out there for the NES, trust me. Pinball. It's a fun game, but this is back. I've had this for a while back since I started collecting 15 years ago, so I just kept it since then. I'll probably eventually sell it, but I do like it. It's still sealed. It's black box. And then my last black box game is golf. Still has a price tag on it for Kmart. I like this game, but I feel like it's kind of difficult to control where your ball is going to go. Later they perfected that with like the Super Nintendo versions of the golf, but in early on it was really hard to control where your ball was going to go when you're playing these golf games. Next up is ice hockey, still sealed, and the reason I purchased this game is because it's one of my favorite games from the late 80s when I used to have an NES and I used to play it all the time with my friend. We'd play this 2-player mode, and we had a blast. Really awesome sports game. Ice hockey for the NES. Tetris, just complete in box, and I just basically bought this because it was Tetris. I mean, how could you not love Tetris? It's one of the best puzzle games of all time. Rad Racer. I really like the look of these silver games that Nintendo made back in the day. And Rad Racer is a fun game. This one doesn't have the glasses that you can use to make it look 3D. But it does have the instructions and the game. So is that complete in box? I don't know. Different people say different things. They say if doesn't have everything, then it's not complete in box. I still consider that complete in box. RC Pro-Am, a fun racing game by Rare. Just complete in box. And finally on my list is Dr. Mario, another fun puzzle game for the NES. Probably my second favorite puzzle game on the NES behind Tetris. This one has a little bit of like, you could tell it's been in the sun. It's like a little bit faded, but I still have it. And that's it. So yeah, there's like 25 games total. I really enjoy collecting NES complete in box and sealed games. I've sold a few off over the past couple years, just because I'm just trying to downsize a little bit, but there's awesome games to collect. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.